Your business's purpose is all about you. Good morning, guys. It's Michael from the 101 Connection, Australia's premier radio station for business and lifestyle shows. Mixed with great music, of course, to keep you entertained. This really gets people. When I mentor people, it's really where I start off with understanding what their purpose is. And too often, and I think they've probably just been brainwashed or read one too many books or listened to too many people who, got theory in their minds, and they start talking about all the customers and what they can do for customers and so forth. And it's like, that's not the purpose why you get into business. You get into business for you and what you want out of it and what you want to achieve. Yeah, your customer comes later. That's in a different section. That is, your distinctive capability, that they'll have special value to them, so they'll actually want to deal with you and use you. But your actual purpose, it's one of the reasons why I say to people, you need to come down to places like this, find your own quiet space, so you can spend some time and decide what it is you want, what it is you want out of your life. Are you one of these people that just want to travel the world? So you don't want to be hemmed down. So your purpose of your business is to give you that freedom so you can run your business from anywhere. That really starts telling you how you're going to design this. Are you someone that, dreams of having their own big factory unit, flashy offices and so forth like that? Nothing wrong with that at all. If that's what works for you, then that works for you. But why are you getting into business? What is it? Because you can make money, working for somebody else. There's plenty of multi-millionaires working for large corporations. They go in there and they go in with the attitude that, yeah, I might work here, but all the people above me are my customers, so that's how they approach it. And they work really hard on serving those customers, finding out what those customers' challenges are, exactly like we do in business, and solving them, and up the ranks they climb, and they become very, very wealthy. And if that suits you, hey, go join one of those big multinationals and work your way up and have a ball. Really enjoy yourself. If it's not, if it's you want to be your own boss, what is it you are trying to achieve? Do you want one of these bolts that are down here? Maybe like me, I used to own planes. I love flying. Oh, look at that. Look at that for a morning. I take that shot because I talked to a guy in America, Breezy Gibson, and Breezy loves the yachts down here. He makes a few comments. So, hey, Breezy, if you're watching, I'm not too sure about the little yellow one, Breezy, but the white one just behind it, I reckon that'll really suit you. Or maybe one of those over there, Breezy. Go grab yourself one of them. A bit of fun. So, just like you would normally write a strategic plan down for your business, start thinking about, why am I doing this? What is it going to give me? Am I going to build this up just so I just work for myself? Nothing wrong with that, guys. Am I going to set this up so I can build a business, sell it for a nice chunk of profit that you well deserve, and have a great life, spending all that money? Or are you getting business to set something up for the kids, a legacy program? So basically you're just going to be the custodian of the family business, and you're going to build it up so your kids can take over. Start thinking these high level thoughts, because once you do that, you can start breaking your business and the design of your business right down. So, what is its purpose? If it's just to give you freedom, just to give you money, hey, just to give you high profits, then go for it. Simplify it though. If that's what you're on about, simplify it. But if you're looking at selling the business, and you say, well, my purpose of this business is to set it up so I can sell it, which is quite a popular thing to do, because you can make a big chunk of money here. Lots of founders have set up businesses, multiple businesses, sold them, made a fortune. The first question you've got to ask if you're going to do that is, who's going to buy it? This is really important. I think this is the number one question. I've heard people talk about how to sell a business, and they prattle on about turnover, about the books, about the profit, and it's like, hold on, why don't we start right at the very basics? who's going to buy it? Because then, just like in our business, we know who our customers are. We know what the distinctive capability or the value of having that business is going to be to them. So if you're going to sell a business, let's talk about that one. If you're going to build a business to sell, who is your customer? Who is actually going to buy this? Who would want to buy it? Why would they want to buy it? Because when you do that, I'll give you an example. When I had my petitioning company, I decided I was going to build a company that was suitable for someone who wanted to emigrate to Australia and use the business purchase as a means to get in here through immigration. And there are rules around it, and I found out what those were. What that enabled me to do was probably get a really good premium price for a business, probably overpriced from, I suppose, a realistic person. Someone buying it in Australia may not have paid that much. But the person coming in from the other country, it was a huge benefit for them. It simplified everything. It ticked all the immigration boxes, so they could just walk in stress-free, take it over, had a manager running it already, and that was an important thing for them, because obviously they've got to get their feet under the table, not only learn how to run a business, but how to run a business in another country. So it's really important to have a look who's going to buy it. So that's my first thing. That will answer so many questions on design, on setup, and so forth. Now, if you're going to think a little bit more long term, a recent company I'm setting up at the moment, I'm thinking more long term now. I'm thinking the grandkids are taking over. I'm thinking they'll be able to step into the management roles. So I've got a few grandkids, so I 3-tiered the company. Means I actually split it from what I would call a wholesaler, retail, and a manufacturing arm, and I made them 3 separate companies, enabling 3 separate divisions in there. And I set it up so that the people who are going to be involved with me could actually profit too. And I was thinking about, if someone wants to be involved in this and it's going to be a long-term business, maybe they want their kids involved as well. So this had to be something that was really scalable. So when I started looking at that business, I was asking myself, what would be the types of business that I could scale in this climate, that perhaps I have the skill sets to do it. And the 2 that came up was the medical profession. Medical profession is just going to absolutely blitz. If you're skilled in that area, honestly, have a look at a business in that area. That's not my forte. But then food and food security and agriculture, but new style farming, the hydroponics, the aquaponics, the aeroponics, all of that. That's fairly simple to get your head around. And once I decided it was going to be food, then I live in Australia. So I'm going, well, who, and naturally, because I wanted to make Australian foods and really tap into that market. And I have some Indigenous friends here and visit Indigenous associates, and they're really, really skilled and really knowledgeable, and it's their natural inkling to be business people anyway. So that was a really good fit. But I just started scaling that way. So I would be looking at, what is the purpose of your business? Is it just to earn an income, travel the world free? Then obviously you want to be online, you want to be able to run your business from anywhere. Even if you're a consultant, start doing all your consultancy by Zoom or one of those such platforms. But if it is to sell it, have a look who's going to buy it, and then set it up for those people. Start asking the questions from their point of view. Don't listen to the academics. Always look at it from the customer's point of view. And then if you're going to do like I'm doing now with one of my latest businesses, I'm looking at it from a generational wealth creation and generational job creation, then you have to look at the structures. You're going to have to put in advisory boards, that can advise these people to help it grow. You're going to have shareholders straight away, because that's the fastest way to scale and do some of those things. You're going to have pretty good joint venture partnerships with key people and key players that can really help you with this. And I suppose this comes down to, again, the purpose. What is the purpose of you going into business? Because that is the number one thing that will drive it's success. Hope you enjoyed listening to this conversation, guys, and look, if you want to listen to more, why don't you join us on the one-on-one connection? And for your business people out there, if you want to just have a chat to me about your business, you can jump on to the101connection.com.au, hit that mentorship button, book a 45-minute free chat with me, no obligation. I love chatting to business people and see if I can help you with some of the breakthroughs that you're looking for. Till next time, guys, have a good day, and as we say at the one-on-one connection, it's all about your success.